So far, we are saying that the state of chess in Zimbabwe is quite high. As from 2019, we have managed to professionalize this sport because we put some structures to manage chess from the grassroots right up to the senior level.
Zim Open traditionally has always been done annually by the Zimbabwe Chess Federation. Normally we have it between the last days of the year and to the beginning of the year. It has always been the tournament that has been used to wrap up the year on all tournaments that would have happened during the course of the year. However, we have realized that we tend to miss out on a number of great players who would want to partake in the tournament from the region and the locals ones, as it is usually done during the festive season. So we've brought it forward between the 18th to the 21st of December, so that we capture or we have a maximum full house of all the players who normally could be away on vacation with their families, so that we give them ample time to actually participate in this tournament.
Yeah, the tournament, it was difficult. There was no easy day at all. All the games were tough. And the tournament, usually with the tournament, the games get tougher and tougher as the rounds go by.
So in this tournament, after 6 rounds, Mshore is leading with 5.5, followed by, I think myself, I'm on 5, and the other guys are on 5. Like Tapua Jele is on 5 as well. So far, and other games are still in progress. So after some time, we'll get to know how far we are with our standings.
Yeah, I was playing Spencer Masango. With Spencer, it's always a fight. When you are playing Spencer, you know you are going to play a very, very tough opponent. And he's very resilient. And probably, I think he's the most experienced player among the players who are here, who have been playing this tournament. And he brings his A game always. He's a fighter.
Yes, definitely. We had some obstacles here and there, but obviously we managed to overcome them. Just to mention a few, there's always this mix that you plan with your sponsors about the event. You got this stress that probably SRC will cancel the event. Yet you say to your sponsors. You also got the stress of thinking that maybe the police will cancel the event. So there are so many stages for you that you have got to go through before an event is announced. But for us, hey, we had to apply to all these institutions all at once. And then now, as and when one would say yes, you jump and say, yeah, now next, we're waiting for the next. So you got to a point where you had to announce to the people that the event is going to be there or not. Yet certain institutions have not yet responded in writing to say you can go ahead. We're in COVID times, definitely. So the Ministry of Health, through SRC, plays a bigger role in that aspect. So these are some of the struggles that you've got you encompass when you are organizing such a big tournament. You've got to attend meetings with your sponsors, meeting with the police, the venue, the health people. So all these things were all coming in as a store on our executive and our staff and organizing committee. But we are happy that we managed to overcome all this and produced an international standard tournament. I think of all the Zim Opens that have been held, I would want to place it as one of the best among the best.
thank you for allowing me to come to this amazing competition, the Zimbabwe Chess Open. That has two major sponsors from what I can see, Pulse and Minerva Risk Advisors. And we're coming to observe some of these brilliant players. The key for partnering with Chess Zimbabwe, one, the joiner city, giving them a space to operate from, and Minerva to be the main sponsor for the next 5 years, is our strong belief that with the right sponsorship, Zimbabwe chess could be globally competitive. And we would love to see many grandmasters from this country compete on the global stage. And our view is to achieve that, we have to sponsor appropriately and make sure that the resources are made available to make this happen.
We managed to have an overwhelming response from the chess community. We had targeted an estimated number of 120 people in total, but the number exceeded almost 23 people physically attending the tournament. However, some had registered but could not make it. I think about 10 people or so had registered but could not make it. In total, we ended up having 143 people turning out for the whole event. In attendance, we playing in the open section with 93 people, and mostly on all of them, in fact, were men. And then there was a women's section, 20 ladies battling it out there, and then the kids section, 30 kids battling it out. So in total, we had 143, which is a good turnout for a tournament hosted in Zimbabwe within that short space of period. We had people who were interested in terms of coming, in terms of within the SADC region, some outside the SADC region, but because of the COVID, it limited in terms of clearances, in terms of quarantine days that people were required to go through before they could actually be within a group of people. So we hope that and we pray that the COVID goes away so that next year it becomes bigger and we have other nationalities so that they also take that time to see our hospitality in terms of Zimbabwe, our culture, our country, our capital cities, in fact, our environment in total, instead of just hearing it over the news. Sometimes it's said badly, which might not be what is on the ground. So we want everyone else to actually come next year. Though we are not actually happy with the number of turnout in terms of the girl child. Looking at the statistics from previously, though we are happy from the previous statistics that the numbers are increasing. For this Zim Open, we had 22.3% turnout for women and 77.7% for the males in total. But however, we attribute this not just to chess. This can be attributed to the whole sports in general, where you see that the girl child is marginalized. The boy child can spend the whole day. This is a 4-day tournament. They can be here from 8 to 5 for 4 days. But it's not possible within our culture and within certain aspects of life, or that a girl child will be away for 4 days. Worse off in another town where probably there is no guardian. We had entries from as far as Bedbridge. People just came in and you could see that these are school kids in terms of the boy child. But we didn't have any girl child that traveled a long distance, except those who were within the surrounding group. So it is something that is worrying us as a federation, but also us as a sports fraternity, that the girl child seems to be left behind in terms of participation, in terms of sport. If we tried this year by making sure that we match the prize fund for the ladies to almost of the male or the open section, so that we attract more females to the sport, so that females can also get a living out of the sport. So we hopefully that next year we will make it bigger and attract more ladies. We would be happy if we get the numbers interchanged next year, that we get 93 females and 20 males. Sport would be different in the country. I think that's more or less about it in terms of the statistics.
Zanai walks away with a bronze medal as well as 300 United States dollars. Zanai is also a national team player. Yeah, Magu Pisa, second position with 6.5 points. It's actually joint first because they've got the same points with the first position. But second on Bukos, we've got Christine Makwena. National team player as well. Silver medal. And guess what? She walks away with $625. By USD. Minerva Zimbabwe Open Chess Championships. Who is going to go home with the trophy, a gold medal, and $625. It's none other than Linda Shaba. Panola speech rap, can I just read it later? We have it later, So Linda is the champion of Zimbabwe Open in 2021. Congratulations. So you owe us a speech. Moving on, I think we're... Second best Madala person who is over 50. If you are over 50 years, which is doing what of that. And we have someone who was breaking that they beat Kwesi. Where is Kwesi? Right. It's none other than the president of Zimbabwe Chess Federation, Dr. Colin Tongona. Dr. Tongo walks away with 30 United States dollars. It's good to have a president who's also good. We used to play, these are the legends that used to teach us chess a lot. We used to play a lot Panari. Congratulations. walks away with 50 United States after winning 5 games. He needs no introduction. Spencer Masango. He walks away with a bronze medal and some cash amounting to 550 US dollars. On second position with 6.5 points, a very promising and upcoming player, a young player. Are you still young? Was told now number young player now. Very own Roy Matsula. He walks away with a silver medal and 550 United States dollars. Don't go to Christmas, thank you, Minem. So we played 8 rounds, and of those 8 rounds, our champion is right here with us, with no defeat, just 2 draws. Some people were just trying to disturb it. 2 draws. The last physical tournament that we had was Easter Open, right? Yes. And he won it. And now we have another one. He wins it again. I think he's just trying to prove a point. Is our champion of 2021 Minerva Zimbabwe Open Chess Championships. He walks away with the gold medal, but he doesn't stop there. He also has a trophy, and he also has the highest prize of the tournament, which is 1,000 United States.
That game, Mushore Masango, was a very tense game because we rarely play, but when we play, we try to make sure that we produce some quality games. So it was mostly about preparation. And in the game, I tried to imbalance the position by sacrificing pieces so that we don't play symmetrical. Symmetrical leads to obvious continuations. So I wanted to open up the game and make sure we try to play outside the books.
Brings his A game always. He's a fighter and he's exemplary. I think everyone knows he's the most. I think he's the most decorated player like now because he's been traveling a lot, winning tournaments. Just last week he was coming from Botswana and he won Botswana Open. So he was coming here on a high. So it was really difficult to play Spencer. Up to now, I'm still tired. I'm still feeling the effects from yesterday's game with Spencer in the morning. But at least I managed to win the game.
Is going to be very exciting in that once you build up and end the year in 2021 with such a tournament, then 2022 definitely we need to be a step higher, and people are actually expecting from us a bigger and better output, because we have set a standard. We need to beat the standard or maintain the standard. There are so many tournaments to look out for towards next year. Maybe I can just say one or two in terms of brief. Mid-February, we're going to have the annual memorial praise Mabena, our former ZCF executive member or provincial chairperson of Masvingo, who passed on early January. So we were going to have a tournament, and this time most likely it will be held in Chiredzi. We need to take chess to the people and move it away from the centrality of Harare. We feel that there's so many talent out there that we need to be bringing on board. Then there's also going to be a traditional Easter Open around Easter, as the name says. And we also launching the corporate league for corporates. We always have thought that corporates have always been left out in terms of sporting activities. So hence we launched a corporate league. So we will be making a follow-up on companies to come on board. We will make it exciting so that it's not held in one particular town or province. It will be moved from province to province every game. Every probably month or two, people will have a chance to travel, go to Vic Falls, Nyanga, visit Chiredzi, Patopos, so that we bring some exciting movements in terms of traveling for the players, and because chess sometimes becomes boring to corporate players in that you get in there and then you're just lonely, or you just be thinking by yourself full-time 3 hours. So we need to spice it up with some traveling, some ventures out there. Players who play for a day, maybe the next day they don't play, they do recreational activities, they do safari. That way I think it might attract some corporates. And we're also going to have the schools league that we managed to secure a sponsor and is willing and ready to go in terms of sponsorship for the kids. So we want to launch this nationally in terms of all the provinces should have a schools league. If we are lucky and COVID dwindles in a way or so, we might even have the amateurs coming up in Zimbabwe. This might actually require that all countries within Africa, was it to be amateurs for Africa, they will all have to come to Zimbabwe. So we might actually be expecting 200 or 300 players converging in Zimbabwe. That's good for our tourism, and that's also good for our nation. So there are a number of tournaments that are coming up next year. And we also want our nationals to be bigger and brighter. Candidates also coming up, but we're most likely going to move it to another capital city. Our second number or third number is between Manicaland, or we're going to take it to Bulawayo. It's not yet set. But however, for 2020, we had said that we're going to have our candidates in Bulawayo. And since they did not have it, most likely we're going to be heading to Bulawayo for our candidates. Who knows? There are a number of tournaments lined up for 2022. The most prestigious tournament that we normally have annually, that we give back to our community as ZCF, is the Behind the Wall tournament. This tournament is done behind the wall, like the name says. This is in a prison setup. Last year we had it at Harare Central Prison. We mix our players, our top 20 players, and then we invite the prison players, then they interchange or play together. This helps our colleagues who are behind to actually socialize with those who are outside. We've done this tournament over a number of period of times, and we're excited that it is attracting a lot of interest even from our motherboard, which is FIDE, in that there's a lot of marginalization when you are now behind the walls. But we are reaching out to them so that they know that we love them, and prison is not like it's their permanent stay. They will come out one day, we are waiting for them. Some of them are even actually good chess players than the ones that were outside. So we should reach out to everyone else within, outside. So I'm just saying probably in a nutshell the number of tournaments that are lined up for 2022. But it's a very big calendar. It's also the year of the Olympiad. We might be selecting a team very soon, early January, for Olympiad, which is there in Moscow in August. So we have got a very tough calendar for 2022. It needs all hands on the deck, and we'll be reaching out to all stakeholders to actually come on board and assist ZCF, not only ZCF, and the players too, so that we can be in comfort zone in terms of them knowing that if I win Easter Open, I can make a living out of it. That's the biggest challenge we've got, in that some of the prizes previously were non-attractive to players to actually live their daily chores that they've got in terms of looking for money. But now when we start putting competitive prizes for players, they can now concentrate on sport. Sport should also pay players fully and make them actually fund their families fully. So that's where we're looking at in terms of the 2022 calendar. It's very big. I can't say it all now, but I've just tried to summarize some of the big and exciting tournaments within it.
All right, I know that some of you are interested in knowing how much people won at the recent 2021 Minerva Zimbabwe Open Chess Tournament. Well, it had 3 categories. That is the development under 16 section, the women's section, and also the open section. So the development under 16 was only closed for boys and girls who are under the age of 16. In this category, there were no monetary prizes, but the prizes were quite good. As you can see, number 1, who is Nyatsambo Ernest, managed to walk away with a lot of prizes, which include a trophy, a very big trophy, very nice trophy, a chess set, a gold medal, a badge, a certificate, and also a tie. So when you consider kids, they need something that they can show to their children and also to their grandchildren, something that can also work to motivate others to join the game of chess. So in terms of ties, they will wear those special ties at school to show that they play chess at national level, and in chess pages as well. So number 2 was Alms Machengezero, all the way from Bulawayo. He managed to win a silver medal, a chess set, a badge, a certificate, and a tie. Then on number 3 was Mashawa Danmo. He managed to win a bronze medal, a chess set, a badge, a certificate, and a tie. So we did all we could to make sure that the top 10 in the development section got prizes in terms of badges, certificates, and ties to wear at school. So, and also the youngest player, who was 6 years old, Ashley Mui, also managed to win a chess set, a badge, a certificate, and a tie, which is a very good thing to see, that in chess we've got kids as young as 6 years old who are competing with with their brothers and sisters who are almost at the age of 16. Then coming to the ladies section, the ladies section was quite competitive for this year because out of the 20 participants, the total participants that we had in the ladies category, most of them, I should say almost 10, are current national team players or former national team players who also play in the individual national chess championships. So it was quite competitive. Talk of Linda Shaba, talk of the best woman player in the country, Kudzanai Charinda, talk of Christine Makwena, talk of Coletta Okuruwarewa, talk of the Zangeni sisters, Tatenda and Paidaishe. So the list goes on. So it was very competitive and the chess was very exciting to see. So on number 1 was Linda Shaba with 6.5 points, followed by Christine Makwena, also on 6.5 points. But in chess we use what we call tiebreakers, and we use quite a different set. In this case, there was tiebreaker and Buko's head-to-head combined. So Linda Shaba edged Christine on tiebreaker, which means that she was on number 1. But when it comes to the prize, what we do is people with the same number of points get the same prize. We add the first prize and the second prize in this instance and then divide by 2. So, which is why they got 625 a piece when the first prize was 800. So on number 3 was Charinda Kudzanai with 6 points. She was also a favorite to win this, and she won $300 US dollars. And also Edith Muyambiri was close there on number 4 with 5.5 points. She won $250 US dollars. This was our best player, junior player at the 2021 Zonal Team Championships. So coming to the main section, the open section, which had a total of 93 participants, which is massive considering that this year we had COVID and we didn't expect much players to attend. Emerald Mushore has been a notable name in Zim Chess this year because he's also the Easter Open champion. He came into this tournament as the highest seed with his FIDE rating of 2192. He managed to amass a total of 7 points out of 8 rounds to win the $1,000 US prize, a trophy, and also a gold medal. On second place was another tournament favorite, Roy Manzura, with 6.5 points out of 8, and also Spencer Masango, who has been very consistent in terms of his chess, because he recently won the Botswana International, where he also finished undefeated. So yeah, it was interesting that in this edition of the Minerva 2021 Zimbabwe Open, we had a number of chess players who had not been playing chess for a very long time, and these have played at a very high level. Talk of Castro Sbanda, he was part of the national team that went to Tromsø, Norway in 2014. He came back because he was lured by the high price which was there. Talk of Heath Darare, he last played chess in 2016, but he was also lured by the prize fund which was there this year. Talk of Hamilton Buddha Mandea, he was also part of the Zim Nationals. He was also attracted by the prize fund. So what drives competition, what drives interest in chess, especially at the elite level, are rewards. The higher the prize fund, the more competition, the more the elite players that come to participate.
In conclusion, I would want to thank the Minerva Managing Director, Lily Ndanywa, and their team for providing at short notice such a funding to ZCF that has gotten us a good name or has made Zimbabwe known worldwide. Our tournament was such exciting that we got inquiries from many other countries inquiring on how we did it and how we conducted it. The pictures circulated on social media were so exciting that it caught the attention of many other stakeholders and potential sponsors who now want to come on board. Minerva, thank you so much. Lydia, thank you so much for such an opportunity that you offered or you've given to the chess community. I can safely tell you that and advise that we had participants from all the country, all the towns in Zimbabwe. Participants from Vic Falls, some as far as 5-year-olds coming from Vic Falls. Participants from Beitbridge. I've mentioned these two balls is probably the furthest distance from Harare. But when you see that we are reaching out to people that far as a distance, it means there's something exciting that came with the tournament. For us as ZCF, it was Minerva that carried the day for us. We are excited and we hope to build a strong and bigger partnership and with Minerva for all future tournaments. Or we've actually rebranded to say Zim Open becomes Minerva Open going into the future. It's still within the executive discussion, but those are some of the things that when someone does something big for you, you end up thinking, okay, why not rebrand from Zim Open to Minerva Open? But that's how good it was. Anyway, in conclusion, I want to encourage all the kids out there, women, the male, to take sports seriously. Chess can actually be a livelihood to someone. His life. You can actually put Sadza on the table to someone if taken seriously. And with the Minerva coming on board, we are now a serious community in that the prizes attract themselves. If they manage to attract people from Zambia, Botswana, South Africa who wanted to come, it shows that we're in the right direction. If our sponsors keep working with us, Minerva, keep working with us. We thank you for the package that you gave us. Maybe you might be seeing behind me is a hamper for the chess team that won in the Prisons. We came out number 2 for Prisons online tournament, and Minerva said that they're going to incentivize to the players that participate at the Prisoners. So we'll be handing over, and soon we'll invite you also, the media, to come along with us as we go and hand over the hampers proudly sponsored or secured by Minerva for our prison guys. So this is good. Minerva is securing for those guys who are outside, and it's also funding for those guys who are inside. Thank you, Minerva, for such a thoughtful initiative. Thank you, Lydia, and your team. We are grateful as ZCF. Thank you so much.